My name is Hannah, and this is my beauty budget. Hey y'all, okay, it's time for another reckoning, but before we get into it, reckoning, by the way, is the video where I decide if I'm going to keep things that came to me for free, either as gifts or PR, you know the drill. Before we get into it, in my last video at the end, which was the video that I filmed anti-hauling new releases that I kind of want, I sort of threatened to do a thing and I was kind of joking, but then I actually did it. And that thing was to get a bunch of pressed glitter and use it to completely obscure the fact that the eye look underneath was starting to get a little bit patchy because my eyes were watering very badly. They still are watering a little bit, but I find that glitter, pressed glitter especially, watery eyes don't disturb it the way that watery eyes disturb powders. So that's what's on my eyes right now. I just took like a bunch of pressed glitters and just like went ham all over my eyes. I feel like up close it probably looks very editorial, and if someone were taking like up close blurry photography of me, I would look really awesome. But I'm pretty sure that from a distance it just looks like I got punched in the face by like a glittery Cookie Monster. Let me do a close-up just for my own pride so you can see that it's actually kind of cool. So I'm keeping my fingers sort of faintly crossed that it will also look editorial and cool from a distance, but I have very little hope. But I really, really wanted to film my reckoning because I have so many things that I want to reckon with, and some of them are cool things that I want to tell you about, some of which I am and some of which I'm not keeping. And I had time today and I was just on a roll, so this is just what happens sometimes with YouTube. Sometimes I end up filming videos even though I know that I kind of look garbagey or weird or like I've made a weird makeup choice. It's just my actual life that is happening over here. So we're going to proceed. The other thing is I wanted to show you, so in my video about the things that I was selling on Poshmark, my closet clean out, I told you guys that I was going to try to dye this top. And it actually went very badly because my first attempt, I tried to do it on hand wash. And I learned by watching a little bit that when you hand wash something in my washing machine, it just fills it up with water and sort of slowly agitates it and soaks it. And it didn't do enough of that for the dye to actually get mixed into the water. So everything that was in that dye wash just got soaked with the dye kind of like floating in with it. And what happened was the different tones like separated out of the dye and all of the pieces got stained with like little bits of blue and red in different places on them. So you can't see it from there. Probably from there it looks really cool because it does look, when I first pulled it out I was like, it's beautiful, and then I looked closer and I was like, oh no, it's like, it looks dirty and it looks like it's stained with all these colors. It did take away the problem with the underarms, and the texture of it is still perfectly fine. And so I think what I'm gonna do, I am such a mess today. I just literally knocked out my earring. I knocked it out and then I couldn't find the back and I literally had to go get another one from a different earring. Goodness gracious. So I think I'm going to put it in another dye wash. I don't have another chestnut dye, but luckily we like deep cleaned the Poema studio recently and I found an old packet of black dye. So I'm going to try to dye this in a black dye wash. It'll probably turn very dark gray, and I'll put the other garments that got messed up in the presumably chestnut dye wash in that black dye as well. So TBD, TBA, TB discovered how the dyed clothing turns out. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. Ooh, it's starting to get dark, so maybe my eye look will look better when it gets dark, because sometimes when it's dark in the studio and I'm filming with these bright lights and I have a glittery eye, it looks a little bit more like the way that I imagine myself to be. Here's the box. I'm reckoning with all of these things. I still have other things to reckon with, but these are the things that I feel like I'm really ready to reckon with, and I tried to pick like a good balance of things I think I'll keep and things I think I won't, and makeup and skincare and all that stuff. I'm just gonna go through one by one. So this is maybe the thing people will be the most interested to hear about, and it was on top of the box, so I just pulled it right out. This is the Melt Gemini palette. I reckoned with this, and then I realized that I wasn't ready to decide about it, and I put it back in the box a couple of reckonings ago, and it was in the same video in which I was reckoning with the Kaleidos Futurism Sci-Fi Green palette. They have very similar capabilities. The Kaleidos has like grungy greens and yellows, and the one from Melt has grungy greens and yellows. Obviously this Melt one has sort of a peachy side to it that this one doesn't. But that peachy side is something that's present in a lot of other eyeshadow palettes and singles in my collection. The thing is though, it's not about the color story with this, and it's not even about the formula. Every time I reach for it, I feel like I effortlessly get a stunning grungy mustard or green eye. Like every time I reach for it, it's like, whew, the formula is amazing. I totally understand why people love the formula. It is really special. And when I think about this palette, I have fond, warm feelings. I think about those grungy looks and I like it. But this has been in the purgatory box with me having those feelings about it for, I think, months now. A subscriber sent this to me. She was decluttering it. And I'm so grateful that I got the chance to play around with it because it's been a dream palette of mine for a long time. I just feel like if I were going to keep it, I should have reached for it more when it was in the purgatory box. It was in the purgatory box. I was supposed to be testing it. And I have these good feelings about the eye looks that I would probably get with it, but I just kept skipping over it and reaching for other things, including often this one, especially when I wanted a green look or when I wanted a black. I would often reach for this one instead. And it does only have 2 metallics in it. Sorry, that came out weird. It only has 2 metallics in it. And I love a metallic. I really don't reach for mattes that often. I lean on them sort of as utilitarian shadows. What inspires me are textured metallic shadows, and this doesn't have that. It's sort of just like the matte version of like a neutral eye look for that color story. And for that reason, I'm gonna find someone else who really, really wants it and give it to that person. Because I'm getting to the point where eyeshadow has to really justify itself to make its way into my collection. I'm also getting to the point where I'm always really stacking my feelings about something up against the joy I'll be able to bring someone else by giving it away. So it's kind of interesting actually, because as my channel continues and I start getting things in PR. I've stopped receiving subscriber gifts. By the way, I should say that at the beginning of this video because I'll be referencing a few, but I no longer receive subscriber gifts. If you email me saying that you want to send me something, even if I've talked about wanting that exact thing and not wanting to buy it or deciding not to buy it or not being able to afford it or something, I will say no because I'm not receiving subscriber gifts anymore. So I am trying to mediate it, but what I was getting at is that I'm becoming tougher. I'm becoming a tougher sell as time moves on. It's becoming tougher for a product to convince me that I should keep it. And so I feel like that harsher critic in me makes me in some ways like a better reviewer. So that's also just to say that the fact that I'm not keeping this palette doesn't mean that I don't think it's good. It doesn't mean I wouldn't recommend it to someone who thinks that it would suit them and who has the budget for it. And of course, it doesn't mean that I'm not ecstatic to have had it in my possession for a little bit of time. I just am not going to keep it. Let's talk about the other eyeshadow palette that's in here. This one took me much less time to decide about. Lauren gave this to me. She got it in PR. It's a Covergirl. It's called True Naked, T-R-U Naked, all one word. And whenever I look at it, it looks like Trunkenid or Trunikid. It's the Covergirl Trunikid Days palette. They're trying to call it True Naked, but Covergirl, it looks like Trunikid. She asked if I wanted to try it, and I was like, yeah, because it's just very attractive, and it's these rainbows, and I don't have that many rainbow palettes, and the one that I have, the electric palette, is much brighter than this, but obviously I have singles and stuff. It was just like, she didn't want it, and I was like, sure, I'll try it, I'll reckon with it. That'll be super fun. So I messed around with it, I swatched it, I played with it, and I almost immediately was just like, someone else will love this a lot more than I will, and it'll be much more unique to someone else's collection than it is to mine. The real nail in its coffin was that I got these shadows from Adept, which I already showed you in the other video because I had this blue eye look on, the one that my eyes were watering off because I had already had a really intense eye look on today. This is the third super intense layered grungy eye look that I've had on today. So my eyes are kind of like, what are you doing to us? And they're trying to cry all the eyeshadow off. But these are the shadows that I picked when Sandra from Adept asked me if I wanted to try any of their new single eyeshadows. And as you can see, it's kind of like a slightly grungier version of this Covergirl palette. And from what I can tell so far, the quality of these is really impressive, and I'm so excited to dig into them some more. And the textures are really exciting. There are all these like duochromes and sort of creamy, glittery metallics and stuff. So the texture of these isn't exciting at all. So when I saw these, when I put this together and then I looked at this, I was like, oh yeah, definitely double, triple, definitely I can give this away. I think I need to change my battery. Also, let's have an ad break. Oh gosh, I forgot to talk about ad breaks in my last video. I'm just starting to pepper them in because it's getting ridiculous, and I don't know, I'm still finding my way with the ad breaks. I'm still trying to figure out how many I should have, how many per video, how many per 10 or 15 minutes, and how I should announce them and stuff. Just quick update on that. I'm still not sure what's the best way. So I'm still experimenting. But let's have one now and I'll change my battery. Okay, gosh, it really is getting dark. The sun is setting. I don't know why I'm surprised. I knew that it was gonna happen. It happens every night. All right, we're back from the ad break. Let's talk about something that I am keeping, that I knew instantly upon trying it that I would be keeping. This my friend Simbri gave me. It's the Hair Story powder. It's like a texturizing, volumizing dry shampoo powder. So it has this nozzle. It looks kind of like a bullhorn, like on the lacrosse field when you were in high school, when I was in high school. And I'm not sure, I'll show it to you. So you fold the little blow nozzle up. I'll show it to you. I'll put it in my hair and that way you can see it and it won't like go everywhere and be crazy. So it just puffs out. Yeah, you saw that. Unmistakable. See how my hair is like, I mean, to some people, a true garbage mess today, like rat's nest, I know some people would say. I got a comment the other day, not even the other day, it was like a month ago, but I still remember it because it's my favorite mean comment that I've ever gotten. Somebody came into my comment section and commented, "Your hair looks like a bad wig." Your hair looks like a bad wig. And that's how I like it. That I'm so happy because that person defined for me now my own hair aesthetic. And every time I talk about it in the future, I can just say that. I'll be like, what I want for my hair. Like when I go to get it cut, I'll sit down with Rosemary and I'll be like, so my aesthetic is that my hair looks like a bad wig. What can we do to achieve that? But you see what I'm saying. It's this like Bridget Bardot, messy, slept in it, woke up like this, French girl, didn't wash it for a million days kind of thing that's going on. This is what I strive for, the way that it's got this sort of fuzzy grit on top and it's piecey and my bangs are sort of piecey and elevated and volumized. It's like this because I sprayed a bunch of this into my hair last night after having not washed my hair for about a week. I think I'm going on a week and 1 day right now. And after spraying it in, I was like, ooh, girl. And then this morning, it still had it. And I was like, I live. And it was like this. It was down all day. It was down during the Poema photo shoot this morning. It looked amazing in the pictures. And it was down all day until now. And usually when it's down for a long time, it kind of silkifies itself. And then I have to like spray it with stuff and put it back up and zhuzh it up again to get it to be like this. But it's just been like this solid straight through since I put this in it. So not only am I keeping it after just trying it one time, which full disclosure, I mean, this isn't like a thorough review. This is just me telling you that I'm so impressed that you can pry this from my cold dead hands now after I only used it one time. So not only is that true, but I'm sad. I don't want it to run out. Already I'm like, how much does it cost? I don't know. I'll look it up after this video, but I hope it's not a lot. Did I say it's by Hair Story? I did. Very, very impressed by Hair Story powder, keeping it. This is another thing I'm keeping, not necessarily because it's outperforming other products of its kind, but because I had run out of this kind of product and it is something that I like to use, especially lately. It's under eye gel patches. These ones are by Coco Star. They're called Princess Eye Patch. And the one thing I really like about this is it's got this sealing lid. So you see what they are. They're just like, I think it's a K-beauty brand. They're just like classic. So you put the lid in and it's a little bit soft, sort of bendy, rubbery, and you push it down. I guess you're not supposed to push it that hard. Anyway, you push gently and it sort of like lets all the air out, and then it creates like a seal. So it feels very like vacuum sealed and hygienic when you're not using it, and I like that about it. So I actually don't love these. They're a bit thick. They tend to slide around until they've soaked in a little bit of the liquid and adhered better to your face. But I had run out of the ones I was using. I learned that it's not something that I care enough about to spend my budget on. So I haven't had them for months. I've been without them. I haven't repurchased them. I haven't had any. And Simbri gave these to me, and I'm glad to have them. I'm like really grateful to have them, especially because lately my under eyes have just been a wreck in the mornings. I haven't been sleeping well. I haven't been sleeping enough. I maybe have been like not eating the best. I think that affects it too. Sometimes if I eat more processed foods, if I have a few extra drinks per week than usual, that really affects my sleep and it really affects my under eyes. All of that has been going on lately because I am just in the thick of it. I'm doing okay emotionally, like as well as can be expected. Nothing's like going wrong. I'm working a lot at once, so it's just been like one of those times of life where an under eye patch does not go amiss. Let's talk about this Persona highlighter, which I love, but I'm not going to keep this one because it's the darker one. So they sent me Zuma, and then they also sent me Laguna, which is the light one that I'm actually wearing. Oh, you can't see because I covered it up with glitter. But underneath that, I was wearing the Persona Laguna highlighter, which is the very pale one. I love it. I love it. I'm just very, very pale, right? So I would so much rather make somebody really, really happy, someone with a more medium or like medium tan skin tone, by giving this to them than like keeping it around and squirreling it away because I happen to love the formula so much. I just need the one that matches me perfectly. Great product though. Okay, is it time to talk about these blushes? I think it might be time. I did talk about Miel Glacé. So Lancome sent me a blush in PR. It was the Blush Subtil in Miel Glacé, and I love it. It shot to the top of my favorite blushes, and in my ranking of all my blushes, it was literally the one at the top. It's impressed me so much. So when this bundle of blushes came up in my Octoly store, it's the same blush, the Blush Subtil, but in a variety of colors. I just jumped at it. And I've got to say, again, I'm very motivated these days with PR by the thought of being able to gift things. And Miel Glacé was actually in the bundle that they sent me. So of course, that one I'm going to give away because I have one, right? So I haven't even touched it. I've kept the little plastic in it, and I'm going to give it intact in its box to a friend. So I'm really excited to be able to give that one away. And then one of them I don't have here. I already gave it away to my friend Jen from the YouTube channel Living the Dream. She came to LA and we had coffee. It was super, super fun, and I made her a little bag. Actually, I did want to say that on that occasion, I was putting together a little bag of things that I wanted to give to Jen. She's on a no-buy-year, and I know her through YouTube, and of course I was like really excited to have an opportunity to give away some products that I'm not going to keep to somebody who I know really loves makeup and who also has a YouTube channel, because she can talk about them on her channel and review them. And having had my own no-buy-year, I know how exciting that is to be able to review new products when you aren't buying anything yourself. So I was putting together this bag for her, and I was only looking at things I had already reckoned with. And then I was like, this is dumb. Like, I really want to give Jen some of this stuff that I know that I'm not going to keep. And so I did. And when I did that, I just said did like 10 times in one sentence. When I did that, what I was doing was I was forfeiting the opportunity to share with some of you, with all of you, with you watching, the fact that I had reckoned with, I reckoned with a couple of things privately. And I did it because Jen was here last week and I didn't have time to film a reckoning before she came. So it was either keep them, don't give them to Jen so that I can show them in my reckoning and then have them in my giveaway box, or don't reckon with them publicly and just give them to Jen. It's also true that Jen will probably show some of them on her channel. So if you follow her, you'll at some point find out what some of the things are that I decided not to keep. But I think I'm moving into a time when there will probably be some things that I decide not to even try, because that was what it was with a lot of them. It was things that I knew were up her alley, but that weren't up my alley, and I was like, I'm not even going to try this. So if I reckon with it, I won't be reviewing it. I'll just be saying, I got this from a brand, and I decided to not even try it. I'm passing it along unopened. I think that there are going to be more and more products like that, some of which I will talk about if they're really of interest, and some of which I won't. So I just wanted to say that, because up until now, up until Jen, I've reckoned on camera with literally every single piece of PR and every single gift that's come my way that I've then given away. There hasn't been anything that I've just given away without talking about it on camera, and that's starting to change. All right, I hope you guys understand that. Anyway, one of the blushes, I'm telling you about it now, I gave to Jen. It was a brighter, really beautiful kind of brighter pink. And these are the three that are left. So there's Cedar Rose, which I thought I would definitely want to keep, but it's matte, and so the shade is perfect for me, but because it's a matte blush, I am going to give this one away. Mocha Havana, it just says Mocha Havana on it, but I know that it has a third word, and I really liked, oh, here's the box. Mocha Havana Shimmer, that's what it is, Mocha Havana Shimmer. So this looks very similar to Miel Glacé, and when I first thought, I was like, I probably won't keep it because they're so similar and it's a bit dark, but I wore it really heavily on my cheeks for the Poema photo shoot today, and it was so pretty. It was like a really intense sculpted bronzer look on me. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep Mocha Havana Shimmer basically as a bronzer for myself, even though it's a pretty deep but neutral color. And then this one I'm really surprised about. It's called Make It Pop, and it's pink. And when I first laid eyes on it, I was like, no way, that'll be another giveaway one. I'm gonna keep this in the Purgatory box because I've worn it a couple of times. It's almost like a slightly more elegant NARS Orgasm. And I did have a mini of NARS Orgasm that I decluttered, but there's something about it. It's like a very lit from within version of NARS Orgasm. So my instinct says not to keep it because it's so pink, and I think I'm not ready really to reckon with it yet. But I did want to tell you that that bundle of blushes came my way. I'm excited to be giving them away willy-nilly, and I'm keeping at least those two for now, and we'll see about that third one later. Here's another thing that came to me through Octoly. It was another bundle, a bundle of two. One is a powder. The reason I requested this bundle is because of this lipstick. It's Givenchy Mandarin Bolero, and I have seen LS get this in PR and wear it, and it was so stunning. And I think Samantha too. I think Samantha March also got this in PR. It seems like it's probably a classic Givenchy shade that they enjoy giving to influencers, that they enjoy kind of like pushing and having advertised. And now that I have it, I understand why, because it's a soft red with a slightly pinky or slightly coral feeling. Of course, on me, it just looks like a red lipstick, but it's a red that has a kind of softness. It reminds me a little bit of the Bobbi Brown crushed lip color in Babe. I really like that color because it looks like a pink, a little bit darker of a pink than this, not so bright, but it wears on me like a soft red, like a red that's not so shocking or dark or formal even. I am already getting a lot of wear out of Mandarin Bolero. I'm really, really glad that I have it. It's a very special lip color, and if I haven't worn it already in a video, I'll definitely wear it soon. I'll even try to demo it or something because I'm actually quite fond of this. It's the kind of color that I'm surprised at how fond I am. It's the kind of color I would like give as a gift to a friend who loves a beautiful lip color but maybe isn't ready for total drama. There's something very special about the tones. And then I think I'm also going to keep this. It's like a limited edition packaging version of the Le Prism powder. It's the powder that has the green, the purple, the other purple, no, the blue and the white. It's like a tone balancing powder for very fair skin tones. And it is very finely milled and beautiful. I don't own a loose powder. This is now my only loose powder. I either used up or decluttered all of my other ones because I don't use it very often. When I've had occasion recently to powder my face and I've used this, I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed how it looked. I might play around with like a makeup look that's really different from what I usually do and like powder my face. I don't know if I'll keep this and use it all up and like keep it long term, but for the time being, I'm ready to take it out of the Purgatory box and sort of own it for a while and see how it goes. And it's, you know, it's really pretty. Both of these things are just really, really pretty special treats. I feel really lucky that this kind of thing comes into my life from time to time through my work on this platform. All right, here are two skincare products that I'm not going to keep. So Simbri gave this to me as well. It's by a brand called Edible Beauty, and it's the Sleeping Beauty Purifying Mousse Mask. I love a sleeping mask. I mean, that's what I usually use at night, is some kind of cream that can just be on my skin all night long. So I'm always intrigued when I come across products that are designed for that. They're like intended to be slept in as a masking product. So this seemed like it would be perfect for me. I totally understand why Simbri gave it to me, but it's clay based, and it says in the description that the clay removes impurities and then it also dispenses vital moisture to your skin. So it says that it moisturizes, but I think this is really a product for oily skin. Maybe I'll give it to Lauren because it smells amazing. It went on beautifully. I just slept in it last night. It felt really good to sleep in. It was pretty elegant. It didn't get everywhere because the clay kind of soaked in and dried down. But when I woke up in the morning, my skin felt dry and matte and soft. Not like super dried out, but it just felt dry and matte. I like to wake up in the morning with my skin feeling like literally greasy and plump and like wet and like creamy and cool, you know? So I loved everything about using it except for the way that my skin felt when I woke up in the morning. So I'm going to give it to someone who will really be able to appreciate it because it's a beautiful product. It's just clearly not for my skin type. And then this is by a brand called OK. It's a K-beauty product. It's supposed to be brightening, it's supposed to be like a brightening cream. It's the Chalk Glowing Moisturizer with citrine. It's so cute. It looks beautiful on the skin and it feels like a nice moisturizer and it doesn't have any ingredients that worry me. And it just has a very, very strong fragrance. Some strong fragrances work for me and I feel like the scent is like working with my idea of how the product works. I just want to be totally honest that strong scents don't always turn me off. I'm not always someone who's like, the scent's too strong for my sensitive skin, I'm going to pass it on. But there's something about the scent of this one. It smells so artificial and so kind of sweet but fake that I don't feel good about putting it on my skin. And that is the 100% honest reason why I'm not going to keep it. Because at this point, I have moisturizers I'm dealing with. There are some moisturizers I want to buy. And so I don't want to keep this around and always drag my feet to test it out little by little. What I want is a big tub of a moisturizer I love and trust that I can slather onto my skin at night. Also, this is barely touched. I'm sure I can find someone to adopt it. One last thing. I can't remember if I talked about this before or not, or maybe I reckoned with like the other color, but this is the What a Matte from Joa Matte Liquid Lipstick in Red Bean. I love the color and it's like this purple. It's like this amazing watery purple. I think I might have reckoned with it already. Or maybe I wore it and I talked about it. Anyway, I'm not keeping it because I don't have any liquid lipsticks anymore. They don't work. I don't like how you paint it on and then it dries like a stamp. I like my lipsticks to feel a little bit softer and more organic and like work with my lips. And when I try to make this look like that, it doesn't work. So even though I love the color and I do think it's a very, very special and unique color and good to know about, I'm going to give this What a Matte lipstick away. And that is it. That is The Reckoning. I love this one. I feel like I kind of cleared out some things that have been weighing on me that are for one or another reason kind of tempting to keep and very beautiful, and like the Melt palette, and now I'll be able to put it in my giveaway box and I'll be so excited to find someone to take it. I also got to show you guys like those blushes, which are really cool, some of which I'm keeping, some of which I'm not, and Mandarin Bolero, which is really cool. This is just a fun one. These were fun. Maybe it's because it was like a lot of makeup, but this is a fun reckoning for me and I hope that it was a fun one for you. I appreciate you watching, and I hope that you're remembering to take extra good care of yourself this week so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.